You might have heard whispers, stories that travel across coin forums, social media posts, and collector groups. Stories about a tiny silver coin from 1925 that could be worth $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple Mercury dime, small enough to fit in your palm, supposedly carrying a value that could change someone's life overnight. But is there any truth to these claims? Could one of the most common dimes from the early 20th century really be hiding a secret that makes it a fortune? And what about that mysterious W mark on its front? Is it a rare error? Or is it something much simpler, hiding behind years of misunderstanding and hype? Well, stick with me till the very end, because today we'll uncover the full story behind the 1925 Mercury dime, its breathtaking design, its fascinating history, the truth about the rumored error, and most importantly, what this coin is actually worth today. Let's know the design that captured a nation. The story begins in 1916, in a time when America was on the edge of transformation. The U.S. Mint wanted to replace the barber dime, which had been in circulation since the late 1800s. The goal was clear: to create something artistic, symbolic, and inspiring, something that represented the spirit of liberty and strength. Enter Adolph A. Weinman, a renowned sculptor of his era. He designed two of America's most beloved coins, the walking Liberty half-dollar and the Mercury dime. The Mercury dime's obverse, or front, features a portrait of Lady Liberty, wearing a winged Phrygian cap. The wings represent freedom of thought. It's a design filled with symbolism, elegance mixed with meaning. However, most people back then mistook the design for the Roman god Mercury, messenger of the gods, and that's how this coin earned its now iconic nickname, the Mercury dime. Around the top curves the word liberty. To the left, in God we trust. At the bottom, the date, 1925. And just beside the neck, you'll notice small initials AW. Those letters stand for Adolph A. Weinman, the coin's designer. But here's where things get interesting. On some 1925 dimes, especially those that have seen years of circulation, you won't see only the W remains visible. Many collectors call this the W error or missing A error. It's been the subject of countless rumors, claims that these W-only coins are ultra-rare mistakes, struck differently, and worth thousands, even millions of dollars. But before we jump to conclusions, let's understand how and why that happens. The initials AW are incredibly small, almost microscopic compared to the rest of the design. Over the years, the dies that struck the Mercury dime became worn or weak in certain spots. Combine that with years of circulation and handling, and the result is simple. The A fades away, leaving behind only a faint W. So, while collectors like to call it an error, it's technically not a true mint error. It's just a result of natural wear or weak striking, extremely common across Mercury dimes for multiple years, not just 1925. Still, the fact that so many people have spotted this and mistaken it for a rare variant gives the coin a special kind of charm, a little mystery that keeps it in the spotlight even after nearly a century. But that's just one part of the Mercury dime story. To really understand its value, we need to explore where it was minted, how many were produced, and what collectors look for when determining its price. The 1925 Mercury dime, mint marks and production. In 1925, the Mercury dime was struck at 3 different U.S. mints. 1. Philadelphia, no mint mark. 2. Denver D. 3. San Francisco S. You can find a mint mark on the reverse side of the coin, near the bottom, just to the right of the E in 1. Here's how many were produced. Philadelphia Mint, 25,610,000 pieces. Denver Mint, 5,117,000 pieces. San Francisco Mint, 5,850,000 pieces. That means the 1925 D and 1925 S are relatively scarcer than the Philadelphia ones. Now, you might think that with millions made, these coins would be common, and they are. But what separates a $5 coin from a $500 coin is condition, rarity of strike, and collector demand. The beauty of full bands, a collector's dream. If you look closely at the reverse of a Mercury dime, you'll notice the fasces, a bundle of rods tied around an axe, representing unity and strength. Around it, you'll see an olive branch symbolizing peace. At the center of the fasces are horizontal bands that tie the rods together. When these bands are fully visible and sharply struck, collectors call the coin full bands or FB. Full bands examples show off the finest details of the coin's design and are highly prized by collectors. A regular 1925 Mercury Dime in average condition might sell for around $10, but the same coin with full bands and in mint state condition could reach $400 to $1,000, and in some cases, even higher if graded MS-67 or better. So yes, even though the $1,000,000 rumor isn't true, there are still versions of this coin that could be worth hundreds or even thousands due to pristine condition and sharp strike quality. The realistic value breakdown. Let's get into some real numbers. Here's how much the 1925 Mercury Dime is worth today, depending on its mint mark and condition. 1925, Philadelphia, no mint mark. Average circulated, $5 to $15. About uncirculated, $25 to $40. Mint state, uncirculated $70 to $200. MS, 67 full bands, up to $1,000 plus. 1925 D Denver Mint. Average circulated, $15 to $40. About uncirculated, $60 to $120. Mint state, $150 to $400. MS 67 full bands can go up to $1,200 plus. 1925 S San Francisco Mint. Average circulated, $20 to $50. About uncirculated, $80 to $150. Mint state, $200 to $500. MS 67 full bands, sometimes reaching $1,500 or more. Of course, values change depending on the market and the coin certification by major grading services like PCGS or NGC. The $1,000,000 myth. Now that we've talked about the facts, let's circle back to what got everyone so interested. That $1,000,000 rumor. It's a story that often goes viral. A collector finds an old Mercury Dime in a drawer and sells it for over $1,000,000 because of a rare W mark. Sounds exciting, right? But the reality is no such sale has ever been recorded. Not at heritage auctions, not at Stack's Bowers, not at any major coin auction anywhere in the world. So, where did the rumor come from? Most likely, it started online. Social media videos or clickbait articles mixing up genuine rare coins like the 1916 D Mercury Dime, which is worth thousands, with other random years like 1925. The missing A in the initials added fuel to the fire, making people believe they had discovered a unique minting mistake. But here's the truth. While number 1925 Mercury Dime has reached $1,000,000 status, it still holds value far beyond its face worth. Its historical significance, silver content, and timeless beauty make it one of the most beloved coins in U.S. numismatic history. The reality of the W error value. Let's address it clearly. The W you see on your coin is not a special mint error. It's simply the last part of the designer's initials, with the A faded due to time or weak striking. That doesn't mean your coin isn't collectible. It just means that the value comes from its overall condition and rarity, not the missing letter. If your coin shows strong details, original luster, and minimal wear, it could easily be worth $40 to $100 or more, depending on the mint mark. If it's graded high or has the coveted full bands, you could be looking at several $100s. But the W itself, unfortunately, doesn't add monetary value. It's more of a curiosity, a conversation piece, a neat little feature that connects your coin to its century-old past. A coin of art, history, and legacy. Even without a $1,000,000 price tag, the 1925 Mercury Dime represents something money can't buy: artistry and history. Each one was hand-engraved from Weinman's original design, struck from 90% silver, and passed through the hands of Americans nearly 100 years ago, during a time of jazz, flappers, and the Roaring '20s. Think about it. This little coin might have bought a loaf of bread, a cup of coffee, or even helped someone pay for a newspaper on a bustling 1920 street corner. Today, it's a window into the past, a tangible link to a world that's long gone. For collectors, The Mercury Dime series, struck from 1916 to 1945, is one of the most rewarding to complete. With 77 total issues, including mint mark variations, it offers challenges and excitement for both beginners and experts. How to identify yours and check its value. If you have a 1925 Mercury Dime and want to know what it's worth, here's how to do it. 1. Check the mint mark. Look on the reverse, next to the bottom of the torch. No letter means Philadelphia, a D means Denver, and an S means San Francisco. 2. Inspect the details. Are the bands on the torch clearly separated? If yes, you might have a full bands example, which means big bonus in value. 3. Look for luster. Uncirculated coins shine differently. If yours still has that original mint shine, it's worth sending for grading. 4. Avoid cleaning. Never polish or clean old coins. Cleaning reduces their value drastically. Collectors prefer natural toning and original surfaces. 5. Get it graded. For an accurate value, submit your coin to PCGS, NGC, or Annex. A professional grade not only verifies authenticity, but also locks in value for future sale. The final truth, worth more than money. So after all the whispers, the myths, and the million-dollar claims, what's the truth about the 1925 Mercury Dime? It's not a million-dollar coin. It's not an ultra-rare mint error. But it is a piece of American history. And for collectors, that's priceless. A well-preserved 1925 Mercury Dime with full bands can fetch hundreds or even over $1,000. Not because of hype, but because of genuine collector demand and beauty. And as for the W on your coin, that's not a sign of a hidden fortune. It's a small but charming imperfection, a mark of time and use, connecting your dime to the millions of hands it may have passed through in nearly a century of existence. So keep an eye on your change. Even though your 1925 Mercury Dime might not make you rich, remember, many valuable coins are still out there. Some Mercury Dimes, like the 1916 D or the 1942-41 overdate, can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. So every coin in your collection could be one discovery away from something extraordinary. That's the beauty of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story. And sometimes, the real treasure isn't the money, but the history it holds.